Hello, everybody. I hope you all are well. For my project, I decided to do providing telepractice in schools during a pandemic. I decided to do this because I understood that the pandemic created a huge change in the school systems. For the research, the objective was to gain awareness into school-based speech language pathologists' point of view and experiences with telepractice as a delivery service during COVID-19, a global pandemic. So I first decided to speak about what is a speech language pathologist, also known as SLPs. A speech language pathologist, their job is to prevent, help, diagnose, and manage speech, language, social communication, cognitive communication, and swallowing disorders in children and adults. What is telepractice? Telepractice is the delivery of service using telecommunication and internet technology to remotely connect clients to healthcare providers, or in our case, SLPs. Telepractice gives a way to connect geographic distances between SLPs and the student. So, what was the strategy for this research? So, for this research, the strategy was that four focus groups, including 22 school-based SLPs from 14 different states in the U.S. with 4 months of prior experience with school delivery via telepractice, and they were given the chance to reflect on the pros and cons on their telepractice experience with the following questions. The reflection also included speaking on the necessary knowledge, skills, and factors that impacted their telepractice service delivery, and with these practices being through telecommunication and internet technology remotely, student and family participation were also included into the reflection. So the questions that they were chose to reflect on was number one, what are SLP's perspective on telepractice as a service delivery model? What are SLP's experience with telepractice as a service delivery model? What factors do SLPs see as facilitating telepractice services in schools? And what do SLPs see as a challenge in providing telepractice services in school? The way that the data was collected was qualitatively, um, and it was used to describe collective view all points of views of the SLPs. They chose this data collection because it was beneficial to allow for systematically exploring of nature and the qualities of a particular situation in the context. So the results resulted in three consistent themes: technology use, particular position of control for decision making, and student and family engagement. Each of these themes had their own pros and cons for the SLPs, which they were able to reflect on. So the first one that we'll speak on is technology use. So some challenges for technology use was the opportunity to create and include digital materials, which is also a success. But for the challenging aspect, it was challenging because it increased the workload. The SLPs required more prep time, and there was no digital resources, and they had lack of skills for the digital materials because it was new to them. But for successes, the digital materials it allowed the ability to find, create, and use digital materials, which was self-motivating for the SLPs, and it helped students participate more during virtual therapy sessions. Also, for challenges, they had to quickly learn and adapt to new network systems to be able to connect with students and parents and colleagues. There were also restrictions with the audio quality to support the treatment of speech and sound disorders. For a particular position of control for decision making, it was mostly challenges which were lack of place in schools needed to support the increase of telepractice use, in administration team having lack of resource for school staff. Staff were forced to work from home, which was a challenge because the setting was not helpful for therapeutic interactions for everyone involved, the parents, the SLPs, and the students. Speech and language assessments were delayed because schools and clinicians didn't have resources on hand to support remote assessments. And all schools required direction from a central administration office in one geographic area. And this was a challenge because there was one point person or a team devoted to help SLPs across the whole entire school system. For student and family engagement, some successes were that parents were more engaged and that parents were able to directly connect with SLPs. The challenges were that some students were not as accountable for their work, and there was more frequent absences for scheduled telepractice sessions because they were at home. In the conclusion, each focus group were asked to specify what is the highest priority that is necessary to continue engaging in telepractice, and in total there were 7 priorities. Number 1, practicing how to do things in telepractice model. Number 2, engaging in resources sharing with other SLPs. Number 3, achieving and maintaining parental engagement. Number 4, figuring out IEP practices in a telepractice model. Number 5, preparing materials for therapy. Number 6, using a constant telepractice platform. And number 7, developing assessments practices to fix the telepractice platform. All of these priorities will be needed so that they'll be able to continue, that the SLPs will be able to continue to use telepractice as a way to engage during virtual learning. And that's my project. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good day.